What is going on, YouTube? In today's episode of Rad Dad Life, we're going to be going over why I chose to go with the Iron 883 three times in a row over any other bike. Stay tuned.
So dark and cold-hearted, I'm breathless to say the least. So far from a superstar, and my daydreams are killing me. Feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm never feeling.
What is going on, YouTube? All right, got my Rad Dad Life shirt, always on when I'm talking to you guys. Got my sweet hand-up pants, also always on when I talk to you guys. Honestly, I know this is the video about 2016, but these pants are phenomenal. I wear these for everyday life and adventures. These are the only pants that are stretchy enough that I can rock and work out in. I can go work outside in. I can ride my mountain bikes in. I can do my shooting drills in. Overall, these are fantastic pants. They're strong, they're durable, they're stretchy, they're moisture wicking, and they have zipper pockets. So I have not found these things don't do better than most pairs of pants that I own. Except maybe they're a little bit skinnier on me, but I do have bigger legs. So, I mean, with cowboy boots, it kind of prints. Pretty much the only thing that I'll still probably wear them with cowboy boots. I really don't care. They're comfortable. They look good. I am not sponsored by them. I am an ambassador of them, but only because I really thoroughly enjoy them. They don't pay me for any content. I don't even have a code for them. I just thoroughly enjoy their stuff. Their t-shirts, their flannels, their pants especially. I have them in every color. And actually most of them are beat to hell. I've burned holes in them from touching the exhaust. I've crashed pretty hard on them and like barely ripped them a little bit. And the crashes I've done on them are pretty intense. I digress. Back to the bike. So, why did I go for the 2016 Iron 883 again? All right, first number one, money, price. It is the most affordable bike that you can buy in a cruiser, if you want a cruiser. If you want a crotch rocket or a sport bike or any other bike, you can typically find those used. The Hondas, the Honda Shadows, you can probably find those all roughly around the same price you can find this. And to be honest, those are probably better bikes as far as creature comforts. They have better brakes, better everything. This bike, in a sense, is super cool for nostalgic purposes. It hasn't changed much in the 30 years, 40 years that it's been in operation. It's gone through a little bit of a rendition. The V-twin engine, the Evo engine, I think it came like the Evolve engine or something like that. Not that long ago, like 20, 30 years ago. But overall, the bike looks as if it came out of that era where it was first built. So that's really, really cool. So getting this bike, you probably get better quality bikes for your buck. But if you want to buy an American motorcycle and have that nostalgic, classic-like feel, this is your best bang for your buck. But I digress. This was about price. So for the price, because these have been in production for so long, there's so many out there, because of their price initially to even get brand new or it's cheaper, you have a high influx of these. So you can get these in almost any price range, ranging from $3,000 to $12,000, depending on the year you get it and the miles on it, and usually how long people have been holding on to it. So roughly, I've been looking at the 2016s is a good year because it's already 5 to 6 years old, and with low miles, anything under 5,000 miles, I was seeing them anywhere from like 6,000 to 8,000. Anything with like 1,000 miles, that was like 2020 and up, I was seeing for like $8,000 to $8,000 to $9,000. Then you look at the 1200s, which I really, really wanted, but those were running around 8,000, was the cheapest I could find, because I definitely want a low mileage bike because I do intend on using it often. As you can see now, I've owned the bike for about 4 months and I've already put in 3,500 miles on this thing. So I intended to use it a lot more. So I definitely want a lower mileage bike. So the 1200s were roughly around 8,000 and they had low miles. So I found this one. It had like less than 3,000 miles on there. Great. It was stock like I wanted it to be. And I got it for, I think, like 7,000. I think it was a good deal, all things considered, for the bike. I really liked it. It was well maintained. So that's why a lot of people, that's why I went with the Harley. That's why I went with the Harley. That's why I went with the Iron 883. For the time that I was looking, for the price range, it fit the description. It checked all the boxes. It's American made, Harley Davidson, low mileage, looks great, stock, and did not break the bank. My payments are $189. Interest rate sucks, but that's for anything the last year until I don't know how long it's gonna last. But $189 for 36 months, I can do. So that's roughly around where you're looking at to buy this bike. About $189 a month with the high interest rate. I have good credit, but interest rates suck regardless. So that's why I got this bike for the price. If I could pick another bike and I had more availability on money and time and what I needed, I definitely would have gotten a big boy bike. I would have for sure have gotten the Lowrider S or the Indian Sport Chief. Both of those are the sport cruisers. They're like the sport bike or the sport version of the cruiser. They have the power that a big boy bike has, but a little bit more slender profile. Those things are bien bonito. I love those damn bikes. But also those bikes are around $18,000, $19,000. This $6,000 or roughly around that price. So, but you can also get these bikes for as low as $3,000. Yeah, they're gonna have higher miles, but if you have 3,000 lying around, you want to get into a new bike, you want to get into an American-made Harley Davidson, that is your best bet. They can keep going forever as long as you have good records of them being maintained well. You can get a good deal on these things. Number 2, customability. These things are like the Glock of motorcycles. They have been turned and custom and tuned, and you can change the appearance of these bikes hundreds of different ways. You can make this bike your own and make it very, very unique, or you can follow the very stereotypical route of making a bobber look. It always looks good regardless of what you do. It's just on personal preference. If you want to make it a cafe racer, if you want to make it a bobber, if you want to keep it stock, if you want to make it a club style, it is so versatile. And like the Glock, it has been around for so long that it's very, very easy to find parts for a competitive price. Where other bikes that are newer, or the newer versions of it, they have to have newer parts to it. It hasn't been around as long. Parts are more expensive, less competition, and more price, more cost. But the fact that these bikes have not changed, whatever fits on this bike fits on 10 years ago. For the most part, obviously there are some minor changes, but for the most part, they usually fit just like a Glock would. So that is why I really, really like this bike. It is super easy to upgrade, super easy to customize, super simple because there's not very much going on with this bike. There is no digital anything besides a little digital screen on there that tells me my RPMs. That's pretty much all it does. But once you ride long enough, you can just hear when it's time to change or how high you want to rev it. So overall, very, very easy bike with very minimal technology to it. So as far as maintenance and care, it's super easy. As long as that, it's also super cheap to maintain the bike. Let's go number three. I love the look of the bike. I love the Iron 883 look. Harley Davidson made this bike, I believe in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, and they haven't changed very much of the look. If you look at 2008 models, 2012 models, 2002 models, 2022 models, has the same look, different graphics on the side, little changes here and there, but overall the look is there because they struck gold when they made this bike. It gave that authentic motorcycle feel. It still has an authentic motorcycle feel. It's a air-cooled engine. It vibrates the living life out of you. So that hasn't changed very much. If you're not from, or you've never ridden one of these bikes and you come from a sport bike, those things make you feel like Tron, smooth, fast. These things will make you feel like the Tin Man, I suppose. It just shakes the bejeevers out of you, the living life out of you. Once you get on it for a couple rides, you'll start to forget about it, but you definitely notice it. Along with that, the shifting, this thing is clunky. It's the very typical Harley Davidson clunk, clunk, clunk. Like it's not smooth. It's very forgiving, so very good for new riders. And it's just how it is. It's just a clunker type shifting. It's more not finesse and smooth like the sport bikes are. But nevertheless, I love the way these bikes look. I love the way they look stock. I love the way they look in every variation, from super bobbered out, which is it's pretty much a naked bike. It's everything it needs, and that's it. Nothing essential. So they take everything off, which is super rad. To the chopper look. I like the club style. That's honestly the next one I would like to do, but for price and stuff, these mini apes are a lot cheaper than buying risers with T-bars. But yeah, this bike looks phenomenal in every variation. The last bike, as I'll show you a video, was more bobber style. I had the Bitwell bars on those things. I had the pretty plain and simple, nothing flashy on it. This one I'm going a little bit more for comfort. It's like a mix between bobber and club style, except for the bars. I think a club style is more with T-bars, but it had a tank lift. I put the front fender back on for, obviously, because it helps with rain and water getting in your face. I put the wind fairing or the windshield back on because I do feel the benefit of having it. Plus, I actually kind of like the style more. I would definitely like the Road Warriors Memphis shields, but those are like $500. Number 4. Not so much me anymore, but this bike is a phenomenal starter bike. It is low center of gravity, meaning the bike sits very low, so a lot of riders can flat foot it very, very easily, and that kind of gives people peace of mind, especially when they're still getting used to the clutch and taking off. It's nice to have your feet hover, knowing that if you kind of go one way or the other, you can put your foot down very easily. Secondly, and it is an 83, so it doesn't have that much power. I mean, if you're coming from a motorcycle, it definitely has power. If you're used to sport bikes and stuff like that, you know, if you got like the Gixxers and the 750s and all those sport bikes, yeah, you're gonna notice this thing is not torquey. It's low end torque. You're not gonna get off the line faster than even some sport cars, but it is fast. I mean, obviously, if you're on the freeway going the speed limit and you need to make a quick escape or a lane change, you can crank that in 5th gear, you can crank that throttle back and you will start to move. It's not like you crank the throttle back and you're going to go inches at a time. Like, you actually will move. So this thing has the power that you need, especially because it is 5 gears. So when you're on the freeway going 70, 65, whatever the speed is, you're already on higher RPMs, meaning you have that torque already. So when you crank it back, you're gonna shoot up on your RPMs and you're gonna have that power. So that is one nice thing. Obviously, it's not the best when you're going 70 and your car's going, ah, and it's just yelling at you, but that's what you have to sacrifice with 5 gears. So for a beginner, it's great. I consider myself a moderate rider. I've been riding since I was 21. I'm 32 now, so about 10 years. I've put in over 30,000 miles on a bike altogether, roughly. And so I've been a lot on the road. I've gotten 3 crashes. 1 crash I broke my hand and wrist on. So now that I'm older, I definitely ride with gear. I ride with armored pants and armored jackets. I have the Thrasher Supply armored jacket with shoulder pads, elbow pads, Kevlar in high impact areas. Same thing, I have the Nicky Boys Toys riding pants. It has, it's called Armin, but it's essentially Kevlar in the high impact areas, the knees and the glutes, along with level 2 protective armor in the knees and hips. So I am riding a lot safer than I used to. I don't ride in shorts and t-shirts like I used to. I actually ride in actual riding gear. That comes with age and wisdom, unless you're smart or young, which I wish I was. But I am now, and I definitely ride appropriately. But as far as me saying being a beginner bike, being that I have been riding for that long, that many miles, I still love this bike. Actually, what I'm saying is, those are 4 reasons why I got the Iron 883. The look of it, the price of it, being very beginner friendly, but still being a great bike to own, and the customability that this bike allows you to have to make it your own. No Sportster is 100% alike. They all have very, very close similarities because obviously people like a certain style, so people cater to that style. Excuse me. I guarantee if you search the internet, Black Iron 883 bobber, you may find a variation very, very, very close to this, and that's okay with me. I know that at least for me, this is my bike. A little custom touches of the red and the spark plugs, the pegs, the bars, the Viking bags, sissy bar, the mini apes, and the windshield, all these little things here and there. Overall, I love this bike. And a big shout out to Joker Machines. They don't sponsor me. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get anything from them. Just a good kudos to them. That's a reputable company with fantastic customer service and amazing parts that have been tried and true. They've been tested. I put them on every bike I've ever owned. I put some products of them that I had, from their speedometer relocations, which is every single time, to their gas cap, which I just got this time, to their speedometer, or this indication light that I put on all my bikes that I own, because it is tried and true. It's tested. I think it's a fantastic company. They're based out of Arizona. They're American made. I can't support them enough. I really, really like them. They also sell cool little like derby covers and billet covers and stuff like that. Those are not essential or necessities, but they just black out some of the chrome that, or some of the silver I still have on the bike that I want to do later on. But they are expensive, so I will work on getting those nice and slow. I can't think of anything else for this bike. Let's see. Is there a number 5 reason? I know 5 reasons is always good to have. Can't think of any. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I'll tell you what. Some cons. I'll throw in some cons just for the hell of the video. Cons of the Sportster, the Iron 883, is comfort. I've heard since 2016 they revamped the rear shocks and they're more enjoyable, better. I don't think they're enjoyable. I may not know 100% because I lost a little spanner tool that actually puts this so it has a proper sag. And I know that would help if I had the proper sag set, but nevertheless, it is still pretty bad. Like it's like getting punched in the back. I know if I had the proper sag set, it would be a little bit better, but that wouldn't defeat the pain that is still gonna be there. Like you fail the road every single time. This thing doesn't just hover over bumps and little bumps here and there. Like it doesn't just hover over them. Like I have 2 mountain bikes with top of line suspension, and that thing hovers over little chatter. Like it's really, really nice. Along with that, the front end too. The front end has a lot of almost like oversensitivity. Like you feel every bump, but like it I don't know. It just feels like every little bump will compress the front fork. Along with that, it has that wander. Like the fork, it doesn't seem like it's structurally sound. So like the speed wobble is a thing. When you go to high speeds and you're not like situated on the bike correctly, or the road isn't very good or smooth, like you'll get the speed wobble and the bike will start to wobble. Along with that, when you're merging onto a freeway or you're going like moderate speed, and like let's say you're getting on the freeway, you're going to merge to another ramp, so you take the bridge or whatever it is to merge, having that leading angle, your bike feels like it's hopping around everywhere. That's not a very comfortable feeling to have. As long as you stay calm and you let off the gas a little bit and just don't hit the brakes, just let it kind of naturally slow down, you're fine. But not something that I really like or enjoy to feel, especially on a bike. I just really wish they would fix that. I do know a rider, I think his name is Iron Rider. He put an Arlen-ness fork brace on, and he says that it helps substantially. So I definitely will look into buying an Arlen-ness fork brace. If that does help with stabilization at higher speeds and turning, I think it would be well worth the investment, because that's one thing that I don't really like about the bike. It doesn't make you feel safe, and it's kind of shady because I don't know anyone else that rides in roads that are perfect all the time, especially down here. They're not all that great, especially in most areas. There's a lot of chatter, so definitely want to look into getting better suspension. Let's see what else. Another con is a smaller gas tank. That's like a pro and a con. Like the smaller look of the gas tank looks better to me. I think it looks more appealing, but it is a 3-gallon gas tank, and this thing gets like 45 miles to the gallon, so you're filling up pretty often, especially if you're being more of a spirited driver or rider. You're definitely filling up more often. The lean angle sucks on this bike, but that's to be expected with a cruiser like this that has the low bottom brackets. So it has the lower center of gravity, so you sacrifice lean angle for most people, more comfortable, more that lowered look, which it's fine. You can always, when you buy and upgrade the rear shocks, you can always buy another inch or two higher, and that definitely will bring the bike up, improve lean angle, and at the same time probably improve cornering. Let's see. If you're a big tech savvy guy, I know sometimes I can be. This bike is not tech savvy at all. It doesn't have anything that a modern bike would have as far as digital display. It doesn't have ABS brakes. It doesn't have dual disc brakes, floating brakes, inverted forks. It doesn't have, it's not liquid cooled. It has air-cooled engines, so it's very old school, but that's one of the benefits of it. It has that old, authentic like feel to it, so I wouldn't trade that, but it does get damn hot in the summertime. If you're wearing shorts with this bike and you're sitting at a light, that engine and that exhaust is gonna kick out some heat, and if you got your leg close enough, it will start to burn your leg. The heat will just radiate, and my skin like will turn red if I get it too close to it. So that's one bad thing, but that's an air-cooled engine. That's what's going to happen, especially in the summertime when it's having a harder time cooling down because it's already hot. In the wintertime, it actually functions a little bit better because you have that nice cold air cooling it way, way more efficiently. So this bike is cool in the wintertime, but that could be a con if you ask me. I think that's it though. I mean, overall, these are cons that are easily fixed, and the positives significantly outweigh the cons. If you guys have any questions about my Iron 83, my past Iron 83s, or maybe some questions about why I still own the Iron 83, hit them in the comments. I do read them all, I do reply to them all. As always, thank you for watching and have a rad day. See you guys.